Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WCBN Sports' coverage of Michigan versus Michigan State volleyball. My name is Joshua Tenzer. I'm joined here by KG Foley. KG,
Hello.
how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm super excited for this game today, an extension of the rivalry weekend we've been having here at Michigan. And the stadium is packed and the fans look excited, and I think it's going to be a really fun game today.
Michigan is coming into this game on a 3-game losing streak. Not the best way
Yeah.
to continue your season. They just dropped out of the top 25 rankings. They're down into about 29th now,
Yep.
but the rankings technically only go down to 25, so they are unranked. Michigan State unranked as well. You saw Michigan's last game against reigning national champions Wisconsin. What are some of the takeaways from that?
So some of my takeaways from that game were that Michigan really is a strong team. They were able to win that first set against Wisconsin, which was surprising and definitely a big boost of confidence for the rest of the match. They were able to stay in every set, almost leading all of them at some point. But when it got to the end of the set, they started to lose their formation, lose a little bit of their communication, and the better team was able to pull through in the end. But overall, they had some amazing performances by some of their players. Their freshman Serena was in, and she had a great game. And Petrovsky had, I think, 15 kills that game, she was definitely a star close to the net. And I'm hoping she can bring some of that same energy today. But yeah, Michigan's a great team, and they just need to figure out how to keep their skill up, keep their energy up, keep their communication up towards the later sets. And I think they would be able to compete against some of those ranked teams maybe later on in the season. Just got quiet here in the stadium. I think we're about to hype video. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so freshman Serena Niambio has been quite the surprise for the Wolverines.
Yeah.
Coming in this year, she's played in 37 of 72 possible sets.
Mm-hmm.
So about half there.
Mm-hmm.
She started one match. She's played in 16 of 21 matches. And in terms of her offensive capabilities, she has about 1 kill per set. Very few errors, just 17 errors total in all of her matches played. Hitting percentage of .258, which puts her in 4th place on the team, just behind Amber Beals, Jess Robinson, and May Pertovsky, and puts her ahead of Jackie Bonney. Now, I'm not saying that she's better than Jackie Bonney, but she is definitely someone who's going to be able to step into that role once the older guard of Michigan is out the door.
I definitely agree. I mean, early on this season, Mark Rosen talked about how excited he is for Serena and that he thinks that she could be a critical player for the future of this team. And I think she's definitely been showing us that this season so far. And I think when I saw her on the court, it seemed like the players really trust her. They really support her. And she's definitely had a pretty smooth transition onto a big competitive team here.
So with this game coming up against Michigan State, it's kind of a must-win for the Wolverines. Like I said, losing 3 games in a row prior to this. So what are the keys to this game? How is Michigan going to be able to lock up this win?
I think that they need to start off strong in each set. Once they start to get a few points behind and they're put on the defensive, I think that's when they get a little shaky. That's when the other team is able to find those open spots on the court. So I think coming out with strong energy and keeping that up so that they don't start to fall back in the sets and have to play a little sloppy to get back in it and make sure that they are in control. Because when they're not in control, you can tell sometimes they miscommunicate, they make errors, they get a little messy, and every point counts in the end. So making sure that they don't lose any for reasons that weren't necessary.
Michigan State also coming in off a 3-game losing streak of their own. They lost to number 12, Penn State, number 3, Nebraska, number 11, Minnesota, and they haven't won a set since the set number 2 against Penn State all the way back on October 2nd. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong... Oh, pardon me. Michigan State is coming in off of a very long losing streak.
I think
Make that 8 games. I was looking at the wrong time they played Michigan. They lost...
That's super unfortunate for them.
Yes, I would agree with that sentence.
Yeah.
Lost to Minnesota, Indiana, Wisconsin, Indiana again, Michigan, and Indiana, the only non-ranked team out of those teams that Michigan has played. Michigan beat MSU in straight sets last time the two teams met. This was back on the 14th of October,
a couple weeks
out
ago.
in East Lansing. Yeah. And
so
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, so I mean, they definitely know that they're capable of beating this team today, and I don't think there's any reason why they shouldn't, truthfully, and I hope that they do because I think it would be a good confidence for them looking to the rest of the season. You know, it's always hard to be on a losing streak and come back into games confidently, especially against some of those tougher teams. So using opportunity right now to play against an unranked team to maybe sort out some of their issues, some of their communication problems, and, you know, maybe use this as a time to figure some things out. But
in that last game, May Pertovsky led the Wolverines with 12 kills.
She's definitely a powerhouse at the front and, you know, kind of makes the other team defenseless when she really gets a good hand on the ball.
Also, Hannah Grant had 2 aces that game. Scotty Johnson had 2 aces. And it looks like we're going to get started here. Jess Merzick serving for the Wolverines from the far left side of the court. Wolverines on radio right, Michigan State radio left. Serve goes cross court. Michigan State retaliates with an attack. That bounces off the block in front, but Allison Jacobs is able to clear the block of Michigan State and get 1 point on the board for the Wolverines. And Allison Jacobs, one of the players who are starting today, and this is her 4th match start this season. Not someone who the Wolverines turn to often to start matches, but she gets them up 1-0 early.
Yeah, I feel like she's also been having a great season. Last game, she was definitely making a lot of important plays on the court. And right there, she was able to find that open spot on MSU's side and get that point.
And the kill by Jess Merzick goes straight down the center. Allison Jacobs, also a key part of that play, faking an attack on the left side, giving space for Merzick.
Fake moment. It gets me, too.
And this is now the 3rd serve from Jess Merzick coming off of a kill in her last point. Cross court. Bumped up by the libero. Wolverines defending on the near side, and it goes off the block of May Pertovsky and out of bounds. So point Michigan State. May Pertovsky says, that one's my bad. She angled her hands a bit too far to the side.
My bad. It's okay. Don't worry.
So now Michigan State to serve. Neil Oker from the far side. Serves down the line, bumped up by Hannah Grant. Attack by Robinson, just out of reach of number 5 in green. Perfectly placed where there was no one standing. That was number 6 in green, rather. Perfectly placed where there was no one standing for Michigan State.
Yeah, she was able to find that back corner, and it landed. And there was really nothing MSU could do about that one as she gets ready to serve.
Michigan State attacking down the center, bumped up by Merzick, set by Dow to the far side, near side rather. Allison Jacobs, a soft attack, tries to tip it over the block in front. Wolverines block the attack, but Michigan State able to bump over her head, and it goes out of bounds. Great desperation play by Aaliyah Moore, running away from the net and bumping the ball over, fortunately just out of bounds. Robinson to serve, down the center. Bumped by Nalani Iosia, the libero for Michigan State.
Oh, an attempt to keep it alive by Michigan. Fails as, I think that was Merzick who fell to the floor.
A hard attack from Michigan State on the far side. Aaliyah Moore specifically goes through the block in front by Michigan. Merzick dove to try to keep play alive, but no one could get the second touch. Michigan leads 4-2, and a bad serve reception by Allison Jacobs. It was a soft serve. Jacobs went immediately with a set, and the ball kind of fell in the center of Michigan. Looks like a lack of communication, no one diving for it.
Points that, you know, I've been referring to where Michigan gets a little sloppy, a little miscommunicated, a little bit of a miscommunication with their own team. But, you know, they have that power at the front with May Pertovsky, who just had a beautiful kill.
Great shallow kill cross court, one of the hardest ones to defend because it gets in front of the block without ever having to go through it. Michigan leads their cross-state rivals 3-5 here in set number 1 in Crisler Center.
In a packed stadium. I've never seen the Crisler Center this packed for a volleyball game. This is super exciting energy.
Wolverines with a service ace, as the serve from Scotty Johnson bounces off one of the players in the back row for Michigan State, and they can't get the second touch. So Wolverines now lead 6-3. Scotty Johnson, one of the Wolverines' most dependable servers, And that often leads to long stretches of time where the Wolverines are in control of the game.
Well,
this time Michigan State, Rebecca Polion, a soft little attack that goes from the near side over towards the center of the court. No one was able to get there in time for the Wolverines. 6-4 is the score. Michigan still in control with a 2-point lead, but serving for the Spartans, Jalen Swain. Cross court, bumped by Jacobs. Johnson sets to the near side. Allison Jacobs attack. That's blocked in front. Rebecca Polion with a block, and probably a block combination with Julia Bishop on the near side, pulls the Spartans to within 1.
That was a beautiful block by the Spartans. It came right back down and fell to the feet of Serena right in front of the net.
The serve from Swain, set by Jacobs again, attacked by Niambio, and that'll be a point for Michigan as the Spartans can't recover. They get the dig, but it bounces off that barber pole that marks in or out, and that's a point for the Wolverines, 7-5, and serving for the Wolverines, Kendall Murray. This season, Kendall Murray is second on the team in terms of kills per set with 2.4, and for serves, she has 14 service aces and 28 service errors. Make that 29 as this one goes past the baseline. 7-6 Wolverine lead.
It's always unfortunate to lose a point on a serve. You know, some of those unnecessary points can always catch up, as now the lead is only a 1-point lead.
The libero for the Spartans, Nalani Iosia, will be serving from the near side. A long-range serve. She stays about 5 to 10 feet back. Wolverines in control as a block from Serena Niambio, rather. Sends the ball right back down. Diving to keep the play alive was Nalani Iosia. The ball goes under the net after she dives to keep the play alive. It's 8-6 Wolverines. Hannah Grant serves. She's one of the best servers the Wolverines have in terms of kills per set. And that's an unforced error by Serena Niambio, as again, she tries to attack after the set goes a little bit too far out to the sideline. And the attack
seemed a
by
little
Niambio.
bit like a timing issue over there. She got caught a little too close to the net.
Niambio waited just a bit too long. Wolverines receive the serve well. Attack by Merzik, kept barely alive by MSU. And the ball will go into the net and fall to the ground. Michigan trading points with their cross-state rivals. It's 7-9 now.
Definitely a little bit of a back and forth here. Seems to be a little bit of a game of errors in some sense, as each team has lost a few points to some miscommunication, to some bad reception.
Wolverines look to defend the attack from Michigan State. Set by Dowd, attack by Jacobs, perfectly
Beautiful.
placed, too far in front of Michigan State's libero to be able to properly make the dig. She dove, keep it alive. It looks like it bounced off her hands, but not before it hit the floor.
Yeah,
So now the
definitely.
Wolverines back in control. Maddie Dowd to serve. Wolverines in control of the ball, set to the far side, attack blocked by Michigan State, but they can't set up an attack. Michigan back in control, rather.
Yep.
And another
kill.
sustained offensive pressure point by Michigan, as Michigan State only ever got one touch on any of their possessions of the ball. So now it's 11-7. May Pertovsky credited with the kill there. Dowd serves again. Cross court. Michigan State plays it to the far side. Attack gets through the block and bounces off the block and out of bounds. So another block error in front on the far side by May Pertovsky. 11-8 is the score.
I feel like this season so far, Michigan's had a tough time with some of their blocks falling through their defense or tipping off of them. It's definitely a part of their game they could strengthen.
Avery Horaci, the server. Attack in front by Pertovsky. She makes up for her 2 errors there with a beautiful kill. Perfectly placed in the center of the court, right down Michigan State's throats. Michigan jumps back up to a 4-point lead.
Nalani on MSU has been all over the place, diving to save some of these intense kills from Michigan. And she's found some success, but can't always do it.
Wolverines respond well with an attack here. Cross court from the far side. Pertovsky again. From her knees, Hannah Grant keeps play alive. Pertovsky will settle to bump the ball up and over. Michigan State in control. They misplay their second touch, though, it going over the net instead of being able to register an attack. And Michigan with the kill pull themselves up by 5 points. It's 13-8. That was an Allison Jacobs kill, her third of the match.
That was a smart move. It was sort of like a lob, and it kind of threw the MSU off on the other side. A change in pace will do that.
Serve by Merzik. That'll fall out of bounds, so another service error for the Wolverines. Believe that's their second of the game.
Definitely want to keep those numbers low because, you know, once you start making those errors, they start to come easier and faster, and that can definitely lose a set for you towards the end.
Anna Grant receives the serve, and a 1-2-3 just like that for the Wolverines. Kill by Robinson. Wolverines back up by 5, 14-9 as we enter the midpoint of this set. And if you're Michigan State Spartans right now, you're going to be thinking about calling a timeout, perhaps.
Yeah. Time to make sure that Michigan doesn't get too much of a run.
Jacobs with the attack. Goes off of number 25 on red. You could hear the velocity.
We could hear that all the way up here.
Julia Bishop. And there's the timeout by Michigan
nice call.
State. Thank you.
Call.
As the Wolverines are up 15-9. What's been working for the Wolverines so far this game?
You know, I think what's been working is their setup for their attacks has been really great. When they get it right, there's not much MSU can do on the other side. I think it's up close towards the net when they're on the defense is where some of the mistakes are happening. There have been a few too many balls that have just fallen right in front of their feet or mistouched off and out of bounds. And I think strengthening and, you know, closing those gaps towards the front of the net will, you know, help make this probably an easy win of a set. What would you be saying to the team right now in this timeout?
If I'm head coach Mark Rosen, what's been you highlighted what's been working and what's been failing for the Wolverines. But right now the Wolverines are not technically on a run, but things have been working out for them relatively well. I mean, don't change much of anything. Michigan State looks like they've been overwhelmed by the attacks with so many times that they haven't been able to get the full bump set spike pattern.
Yeah, I don't think we've even seen that once not more than a few times from this set.
So continue with the power.
Yep.
And Michigan, a team that's been good at finding the spots with their attacks all year, have been extremely successful today. It looks like Michigan State has been out of position more than a few times. Yeah. So keep it working.
Keep it working.
Michigan State attacks bumped up by Merzik.
Beautiful save.
Dowd has to settle for a bump with such a high angle that the ball took, and Dowd will watch the ball go out of bounds after, again, Michigan State uncontrollable on the dig. The ball sent back over the net on the reception from the attack. Wolverines up by 7, and now it's Jess Robinson to serve. Cross court. Set up by Bishop. To the far side, goes through the block of Allison Jacobs and Jackie Bonney on the near side and goes outside of the sideline. Wolverines still up by 6. And now to serve is Celine Aslian, the freshman out of Turkey.
Wow.
I believe one of the 2 players out of Turkey for the Wolverines. For the Spartans. The attack dug well by Grant, and Merzik with a strong attack, beautifully blocked up by the Michigan State's libero. And now Michigan has the ball back on their side. A running attack by Merzik, just a bit too much power on it. Michigan State back within 5. It's 16-11.
That was definitely the right idea by Jess. She had a lot of power there, maybe just a little too much. Learning how to control that sometimes. I mean, easier said than done, obviously.
And that's a service error for the Spartans, Celine Aslian. So both her and Neil Oker came from Fenerbahce Tarazzo.
Wow.
That's a.
You ever been to Turkey?
I have no. I have you.
No, I haven't been to Turkey. I like turkey sandwiches though.
Scotty Johnson, the server for the Wolverines. She starts off very far back and a float serve down towards the center of the court. And the attack blocked in front by Niambio and Boney.
I think Niambio and Boney could be a really powerful duo for the future of this team. They are both tall, strong, powerful women towards the front of the net, and it seems like when they work together, they can definitely get it done. And they're both only a freshman and a sophomore, so they'll definitely be the future of this team for the next couple of years.
Jackie Boney last year made the all Big Ten freshman team, something that Niambio is certainly looking at now. And she led the team in blocks the year last year with 120, 19 of them coming all by herself. This year, in terms of blocks, she is second on the team with Jess Robinson, 77, Jackie Boney, 75, and Serena Niambio with 29 finds her in 5th place on the team.
I mean, she hasn't even played as much as a lot of the other players. You know, she's slowly been working her way onto the court. You know, the first game that we called, I don't even think she played at all, and now she's definitely been making a lot of important plays for the Wolverines.
In terms of block per sets, she also finds herself 5th. Robinson and Boney, both with all 72 sets played, so that's pretty stable there. And if we're looking at players who have played more than one set, Niambio finds herself in 4th place, as Jenny Liu, 1 set, 1 block for 1 block per set.
Wow, that was a lot of numbers you just said.
Scotty Johnson from the far side. Cross court this time, and that'll not be a service ace, as number 25 in green is able to get all the way towards the front row of chairs. And a kill by Niambio, I believe that was.
Wow, that was beautiful. It was right on the line. She was able to find the perfect spot for it. And she clearly learned from her mistake attempting to make that kill on the same side of the court just a few points ago.
Wolverines now on a 3-0 run. Johnson, cross-court serve.
Ooh.
Wolverines win the point as the attack by Michigan State on the far side goes just outside of the Michigan block and out of bounds. The attack didn't have a lot of velocity. It looked like it was trying to touch the block and then fall in front. Instead, it just missed the arms of Robinson, and that's a service error by Scotty Johnson after 4 successful points serving. So the Wolverines lead this set 20-12. Not a guaranteed win, but a comfortable lead.
Definitely
in terms of this set.
Lead. And, you know, I would say I'm pretty content with this comfortable lead, but only mildly content.
And that's a point. Michigan State, 13-20 is the score.
For them.
The server, Jalen Swain, freshman out of Elk Grove, California.
Like a slam, almost like a dunk. Isn't that kind of illegal? No?
I mean, if you carry the ball, yes.
I think it carried to me, but we'll give it to them.
Set by Johnson to the far side, behind her back. Attack by Boney. Wolverines and Spartans fighting for the ball at the net. Both pairs of front lines setting the ball up there. Johnson, another behind the back set. And the attack by Boney goes off the block and then out of bounds. Michigan back up by 8. It's 21-13, pardon the voice crack.
I didn't hear a voice crack.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Seems like a lot of the game has been happening on the far sides of the court, and the out of bounds has been an issue for both teams, with touches just not going the direction they need them.
Spartans attack from the far side, blocked in front by Boney and Merzick. Another attack by Michigan on the same side. This time gets through the block. Luckily, Kendall Murray was there to make the defensive stop. Attack by Boney. Finds the center of the court. Michigan State keeps it alive. Michigan has been putting their feet on the throats of Michigan State this whole time, and it ends disappointingly for the Wolverines. The attack goes out of bounds by Boney. It's 21-14.
You know, MSU did not give up in that point. They kept fighting, and it turned out in their favor. They're not exactly a tall team, but they're a very quick team. They move around the court, and especially number one, Nalani, she has been everywhere, saving balls left and right.
Michigan State's certainly not a blocking team. We haven't seen them do much of it today. There's a block that works. Having said that, no one on the Spartans has more than one block per set, and this game, in terms of statistics, that is just the third block by the Spartans whatsoever. Pardon me, that's their third block, and then one of those blocks was a combo, so there are 4 blocks on the score sheet. And another point for the Spartans as a attack goes cross court and out of bounds by Serena Niambio. Ball bounced off the top of the net, just a bit too close for the Wolverines, and now it's 21-16. The lead is cut down from 8-5. Kendall Murray receives the serve with a dig. Attack by Boney, defended well by Michigan State. Attack from the other side goes cross court and out of bounds. The Spartans thought it was in. It was not. 22-16. Michigan just 3 points away from winning this set.
That was a lucky break for Michigan right there that ball happened to go out, or else that lead would have been chopped in half.
Grant to serve. Michigan State from the far side.
Wow.
Ball bounces off the net twice. Michigan able to keep the play alive with some desperation. Another desperation play by Hannah Grant on her knees, and then dive and keep the play alive was Kendall Murray. Attack by Niambio. Dug well, and not sure what the point was for there, but Michigan
gets it.
Comes back from a 2 plays where it looks like they were all but out of it, and now Michigan 2 points away.
Wow, Hannah Grant just gave me chills with that. She made 2 incredible saves there and got that point for Michigan.
Wolverines attack. Niambio with a kill. And now it's set point for the Wolverines.
For Serena, I love that she's on this court and that she's making a difference. And now, you know, she's gotten them to this last point here as Hannah Grant serves.
Spartans attack from the far side. Cross court, that finds Hardwood. Just out of reach of Hannah Grant. 24-17, the fans on their feet for the final point of the set to be won by Michigan if all goes according to plan for the Wolverines.
Lots of energy as the ball goes into play.
Attack by Niambio, cross court. Pardon me, that may have been Robinson. It was. Point by Robinson, cross court kill. And the Wolverines win set 1, 25-17. What were some of the highlights, KG?
You know, I think that last kill was one of the highlights. I mean, I love watching Robinson get one of her powerful kills in. It's so fun to watch. But I think another highlight was probably Hannah Grant's couple of saves just a few points ago. You know, this whole season she has shown how she can be everywhere on the court. She can make those clutch plays, and she's willing to throw her body on the line. And it's always super entertaining to watch. But yeah, those are 2 moments that definitely stuck out the most to me. For MSU, I think their player number 1, Nalani, she is doing a lot of work for her team right now. I mean, it feels like every play she's touching the ball and she's keeping it going. And, you know, I think that's a lot of pressure to put on one player. So for MSU, they probably need to figure out a little bit how to take some of that load off of her and work a little bit more as a team.
Nalani Ayasia, no stranger to being the defensive stalwart for Michigan State.
Yeah.
She leads the team with 3.75 digs per set. The next closest player per set.
Wow.
The next closest player is Zoe Nunez with a 2.14. So over 1.6 more digs per set than anyone else on the team. Wow. She has 315 digs this season. Again, second place is Zoe Nunez with 135, so 180 more.
Wow.
For Nalani Ayasia.
I mean, she's clearly one of their star players. She's played in 84 out of 85 sets. this season, so she's definitely not a player who gets a break on this team. And she's throwing her body on the line every point. Really fun to watch players like that who are super dedicated to their position. And Hannah Grant and Alani are both very dedicated to their roles.
The fans in attendance here were just taught by, I believe, Jess Robinson on how to make fried rice.
Wow.
That was a fun little
that was fun
video.
I love fried rice. Maybe I'll make some fried rice later. And I'll use her recipe. I wasn't really paying attention, though. Was there anything special in it?
She cracked an egg into it.
Oh, well, that's important.
You got it.
You got to crack the egg.
Yeah.
You either have to make like a little circle within the rice and crack the egg into the circle. Have you ever done that?
Oh, yeah.
And then you fold it over. That's the best way to do it.
Do you scramble your egg before you cook it in the fried rice, or does you?
Yeah, I scramble it.
Okay.
But then sometimes I do that, and then I'll fry an egg and put it on top of the rice because I like a little yolk in there sometimes.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah, But I'm kind of in like my anti-egg era right now. Do you ever have that where you start to think about what you're eating and you're like, okay, what am I like? This is like, and the egg starts to feel kind of like gross when you think about it too much. Has that ever happened to you? Maybe once or twice.
Can't say it has.
I know somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. When you're like really excited to eat it, but then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, I'm eating an egg, and it's like a yolk.
It's
like
just
it's like
nutrients.
it's chicken.
No, it's not chicken.
It's
an unfertilized egg. It's no nutrient. It's just nutrients.
It's just
meant
nutrients.
for an egg. Meant for a chicken embryo. So if it's good enough to make a chicken embryo grow from an embryo to a real chicken, then it's good enough for me to eat for breakfast.
Okay, I mean, I kind of followed that thought process, so valid, fair enough. What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Well, set 2 is about to happen here for Michigan versus Michigan State. As I get out of that brain teaser, Wolverines won the first set 25-17. And we'll be right back with you for set 2. Don't change that YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
Say anything else?
Oh, Michigan State will start off set 2 by serving attack by Merzick, blocked up top by Zoe Nunez. And an attack from the far side goes cross court, tipped off of the defense by Michigan, and Michigan State has their first lead this game with a 1-0 set, 1-0 lead in set number 2.
Good for you guys.
Avery Horesi serves, dug by Jacobs to the far side. Merzick attack,
Wow.
diving stop by Iosia. Wolverines defend the attack well. Now on the near side, attack by Pertovsky comes up empty. Wolverines now on radio left, Michigan State on radio right. Blocked up front by, pardon me, my mind stopped for a second, Jess Robinson. And now Michigan State takes advantage of the players for the Wolverines being out of position. It's 2-0 Spartans.
Wow. That was a beautiful lob and found open space right in between a bunch of Michigan players after a long game, after a long point. Oh.
And that's a service error for the Spartans, letting the Wolverines get control of the ball. It is 2-1. And to serve for the Wolverines, number 5, Jess Merzick. Today, she has 0 service aces and I believe 1 service error. Serve goes directly in front of Iosia. So Michigan State in control, and the attack from the far side goes cross court out of bounds. Michigan has tied this set up at 2. Merzick in control. There's attack error by Celine Aslian. Cross court serve by Merzick. Blocked in front by Jacobs.
Beautiful block.
Michigan back in the lead 3-2. That's 3 straight points for the Maize and Blue. in their last game of the season at Crisler Center.
That's so sad. I love Crisler Center, but I guess basketball season is just around the corner.
It is indeed. Michigan starting ranked, I believe, in both programs.
Wow, super exciting.
Attack in front for Michigan State, blocked again by Robinson. Michigan on a 4-0 scoring run. So Michigan Wolverines, looking ahead, will return to Keene next Sunday at 2 p.m., where they take on Purdue.
Is Purdue ranked?
I'm going to say yes tentatively before I look it up between points.
All right.
Allison, pardon me. Maddie Dowd with a set. Attack by Wolverines off the block for Michigan State and out of bounds. It's now 5-2. And to answer your question, Purdue is ranked number 12.
Oh, wow.
With a record of 15-5.
No, that could be an exciting game for Michigan if, they could really have there's a strong game. There's no reason they couldn't win, and beating a ranked team could be great for their confidence, their rankings, and the rest of their season.
Attack by Michigan State, again from the far side. They've been focusing a lot of their, near side. They've been focusing a lot of their attacks coming from that left flank. This time it finds Hardwood. It's 5-3. Michigan still in the lead, but Spartans in control of the ball with the Turkish sophomore Neil Oker serving.
Wow.
Cross court attack by Michigan. Dug well by the Spartans, and in front another block from the front line from Michigan State. That was Rebecca Polion, her second block of the day. Michigan State back to within 1 point of their cross-state rivals.
It's definitely been a little more of a back and forth here with some really nice blocks for Michigan State so far this set.
Oker to serve. And that goes over the head of Jess Merzick as she ducks out of bounds. A service error for the Spartans. That is their fourth of the day. Pardon me, just their third of the day. One by Oker, one by Zoe Nunez, and one by Celine Aslian.
Robinson serve. Ooh. What just happened there? Did that get through?
It appears that it bounced off the block. The kill from Rebecca Polion bounced off the block in front by Maddie Dowd, and then the ball landed on Michigan's side of the net. Now Michigan State ties the game up with a surprising attack. Reaching over the net was, I believe, Rebecca Polion again to disrupt Maddie Dowd's set, as the ball was much too close to the net for Maddie Dowd to be able to successfully make the set. Kill by Polion, and now a service error again, just as Michigan State ties the game up and gets themselves rolling. A service error by Celine Aslian makes it 7-6. Wolverines lead.
That's 2 service errors this set for MSU.
And it's very early as well. Plenty of time for them to right the ship or sink further down the drain.
Ooh, that's a nice metaphor.
Thank you. Scotty Johnson serves, and a counterattack by Michigan State. Polion again.
Wow.
Sends an attack down the near side, far sideline. 7-7. Michigan State all tied up here in set number 2.
Hannah Grant basically dove into the bench to try to save that, again, showing that she is fully dedicated to her position.
Spartan serve set by Johnson. Attack by Boney on the near side. Attack in front from Michigan State. That's Meredith O'Gorman. Off the block in front for Michigan. Now the Spartans back in the lead, 8-7.
Wow.
O'Gorman with her third kill of the day. No errors for her. She's hitting a .429 with 7 attempts. Jalen Swain serves for the Spartans. Attack and a kill by Boney.
Wow. When Boney gets up and in the air and spikes that ball down, it is flawless, it is seamless, it is powerful, and there is really not much the other team can do. And it's so fun to watch her get a really good hand on that ball.
Wolverines have been letting Allison Jacobs play a significant amount of time today.
Yeah.
But now she's subbing out, talking to the coach, as Kendall Murray will serve. They don't let Allison Jacobs serve all that often. Probably not one of the stronger points of her game. Scotty Johnson with the bump after a Michigan State attack. Sent back over by Merzick. Michigan State attacks on the near side, and that's out of bounds. Point Michigan as it goes over the block and flying past the baseline. Michigan back in the lead, 9-8.
Allison Jacobs has been getting a lot of playing time and is leading the team with 6 kills, which is a little out of character for the team. Perhaps the coach is using this game as a chance to let some of the players who haven't gotten as much time or as much opportunity to really work on some of their game skill, and because MSU won't be the toughest competitor of their season.
I mean, that is certainly correct, and with a tough stretch coming up, you have Purdue twice in 2 weeks, Northwestern, Illinois, Iowa, and then, of course, I'm not saying that playing Rutgers is a cakewalk, but that is how the Wolverines will end their season this year. I don't believe WCBN will be covering that, as that is during Thanksgiving break. That'll be senior day. So here at WCBN, we'll recognize all the volleyball seniors on the penultimate game of the Michigan season at home. So far in conference play, though, Rutgers has won just one game.
All right, okay.
And it was against the Spartans.
Oh, right. So that says a lot right there, I would say, about...
I believe last year Rutgers won 0 games in their Big Ten slate, so improvement.
All right.
For the team from New Jersey.
You know, it's never fun to see that, you know, be a record for a team. I mean, these college athletes put so much into their school, bring a lot of energy and spirit, and I mean, especially here at Michigan, a lot of revenue. And so, you know, these players are really dedicated, also studying at the same time. It's no easy feat to be a student athlete. So, you know, you never root to see a team not win a game during their season. But can't say that's bad news for the Michigan Wolverines, who will be facing Rutgers at the end. A long time out here, as it seems that the Spartans have been warming up some of their players on the side, doing some sprints, and now they're doing the limbo.
It looks like a review by a referee as well as what's the holdup here.
I missed that. My
determining
apologies.
whether Meredith O'Gorman's attack was actually inbounds or out of bounds. So we'll see what happens there.
Every point matters, as this has been a pretty tight set from the beginning, with both teams, you know, either being tied or Michigan just slightly in front, but definitely not been a for sure set for either team.
Looks like the review is over. So we'll see what happens there. Jess Robinson leading the Wolverines with a .750 hitting percentage, 3 kills on 4 attempts, and it is confirmed to be Michigan's points as Meredith O'Gorman's attack was out of bounds. Jess Robinson with a .750 hitting percentage. She also leads the Big Ten in hitting percentage with a .459 on the season. That
does not surprise me.
Over 60 points higher than second place Danielle Hart from Wisconsin. Spartans attack off the block by Boney and hits the hardwood on Michigan's side, so it's tied up at 9s here in set 2. If you're thinking about set 1, Michigan at one point had a 15-9 lead. That was when they really pulled ahead with, I think, 6 points in winning 6 out of 8 points.
It's definitely not the case here in set 2, as they are both here tied at 9. Such an interesting serve from MSU. They serve very far away from the line.
Yeah, we noticed that with Nalani Iosia. She has a lot of power on her serves in order to make sure that it stays in. And that's a point for Michigan. Serena Niambio with the kill. Wolverines up 10-9. As we were saying, Nalani Iosia, in order to make sure that her powerful serve stays in and has the velocity and drops just perfectly, she stands about 10 feet back behind the baseline, and her serve peaks over Michigan State's side. Michigan State having trouble receiving the serve, but they managed to make a couple desperation plays to keep the ball alive, and out of bounds on the attack by Jess Merzick, tied up back at 10.
Unfortunate, just a little too much power there. Not enough downward force for Jess Merzick. Something she kind of struggles with a lot. She's got a lot of power, and controlling it is not always an easy task.
Spartan serve cross court set by Johnson on the far side. Merzick with a tap over the block. Spartans able to recover. Blocked in front by Merzick. That's a point for the Wolverines.
Ball. She got some really nice height. Perfect timing on that block for her with Serena right next to her side. As Serena steps out, and so does Scotty Johnson. And I think Maddie Dowd is in now to serve for the Wolverines, with Michigan leading 11-10.
Dowd serves down the near sideline. Set up from the back line by Michigan State, but still able to get a powerful attack on it was number 2 in green. From the far side, Merzick attacks, and then she blocks.
Blocks again.
12-10, Michigan lead. Merzick has been the real standout this second set.
Absolutely. Making 2 really important blocks for Michigan, allowing them to pull ahead just a little. 12-10 here in the second set as Maddie Dowd gets ready to serve again.
Dowd and Johnson have been splitting time at setter much more than they were in the prior years, and that attack is blocked in front by May Pertovsky. Her second block of the day. This one's a solo block. And now the Wolverines with 3 straight points. No, 3 straight points. Michigan State calls a timeout.
Got them a little nervous. Coach is bringing out the chair to sit down and have a little chat with MSU.
So another time to highlight Jess Robinson. Not only does she lead the Big Ten in hitting percentage, she is second in the NCAA in terms of hitting percentage. Just behind Asia O'Neal of Texas with a 479. So Robinson's 459 gets her second place. Other leaders come from UCF, BYU, and Hawaii.
Hawaii? Did we play Hawaii this season?
I do not believe the volleyball team has. I know that Michigan and
football.
Hawaii did play football as
Right.
well as they are water polo rivals.
Oh.
They're both in that range of teams where they're not good enough to win a national championship because they're not from California.
And they didn't live in the water.
Yeah, but they are consistently in the top 8 of water polo rankings. Very excited for water polo season to come back to Michigan. That'll be in January. And in case anyone listening remembers the time that I called 16 water polo games over the course of 2 days, I will be doing that again this year.
What?
So
16 over 2 days? How does that work?
There was a tournament hosted at Michigan.
Oh, wow.
And they're only 40 minutes each.
Oh, really?
So
True.
I called
all of them.
All of them, because I realized, I figured Michigan's playing the first and last of the day, so I can either go to the stadium, go to the stadium and leave, or just be here and call it everything. So that's what I did.
So you're an overachiever.
Yeah. When it comes to this club, yes.
All right, back in play.
Maddie Dowd, her serve just clips the top of the net and rolls over the top, and takes that attack towards the upper chest head area. Unable to get her forearms able to block the ball with a successful dig. Looks like the attack had just too much power on it that she wasn't expecting. And after the timeout, Michigan in control. Michigan State in control, rather. It's 13-11.
Yeah, we have to clarify which Michigan now.
Wolverines with a successful dig that goes up and over the net. I mean, you never want to have a dig that goes over the net. You always want to be able to set up an attack. But this time it just happens to fall directly where Michigan State was. It was not. So it's 14-11.
Definitely caught MSU off guard as they even kind of collided with each other a little bit, trying to get to that ball. As the ball is in play.
Michigan State from the far side. Maddie Dowd able to defend well. Standing attack from Pertovsky, and now a block in front by Robinson and Pertovsky. Michigan State able to play the ball off the net and in control. And another kill by the Wolverines. It's now 15-11. The Wolverines are in control of this game and playing very well. It's widening the gap between them and their cross-state rivals.
Yeah, lots has been working for Michigan here. All of their kills have been very successful. They've been powerful in front of the net, and very few errors has allowed them to have some control here in this set. And a bad call by MSU on serve being out will let Michigan pull ahead 16-11 as there's another timeout called because apparently the last one was not.
Well, the last one worked and got Michigan State the first point after breaking Michigan's roll, but now Michigan on another 3-0 scoring run, and that's a service ace by Jess Merzick as Michigan State watched the ball sail slowly just onto the sideline.
Jess Merzick pulling in another impressive statistic with that service ace as she has 6 digs, 2 kills, and 3 blocks. She's definitely been having a great game here today.
That is her 13th service ace on the year. As the flex cam comes around the stadium. It's a packed game.
Really is.
Here, it's been filling out more and more. They've had to actually open up some of the upper bowl, which is a rarity here when volleyball plays in Crisler Center. Some of the curtains are have been raised. You have fans sitting underneath the Michigan basketball retired numbers, and a couple fans sitting just to our left underneath all of the Big Ten basketball banners. The sections, you know, some of the 200 sections starting to get a lot of fans.
Yeah.
The big game, you have fans who are in from the Michigan State game last night who maybe made the trip back out here. And a quick point for Michigan as Michigan State wasn't able to control the serve. The ball floats back over towards Michigan's side, and a kill by, I think that was Allison Jacobs.
Another for Allison Jacobs here.
Wolverines lead 17-11. Allison Jacobs with her 7th kill of the day on 10 attempts, 2 errors, giving her hitting percentage of .500. Jacobs attacks again, gets through the block. Michigan State able to control the ball. An attack from the far side goes cross court just out of reach of Maddie Dowd. 17-12, Michigan still in the lead.
It's been an exciting game for Allison Jacobs. I mean, she's only 7th on the team for kills, but today she's been leading her team's attack with, I think, what's it now? 6 kills, 7 kills for Allison Jacobs.
A serve from Michigan State, defended well by Michigan. Their attack is blocked. Another attack, this one from Bertovsky, goes off the block and out of bounds. It did go back over the net to Michigan's side, but landed past the far sideline. So it's 18-12, the maize and blue team in the lead. Robinson in control, and a double touch. Ooh, pardon me, I don't know what that signal is. I think that's a carry on the attack. So as you were pointing out earlier, you thought might have happened. It happens this time, 19-12.
I see.
Robinson serves, and Michigan State able to fire back with an attack. Quickly gets past the block. It's 13-19.
Yeah, she really just found that open spot and just sniped for it. That was a beautiful attack on MSU, for MSU.
That was Rebecca Polion. She leads the team with 7 kills. Next closest are O'Gorman, Asleon, and Moore, all with 4. And a point for Michigan here as the attack goes out of bounds. Michigan in control of set 2. It's 2013.
Yeah, Michigan kind of in a blink of an eye has really pulled ahead quite quickly here. You know, with a 7-point lead, they've had, I think, a really strong attack, made very few errors, and MSU has been a little thrown off by their aggression.
Attack from Michigan State. That's Celine Asleon, the Turkish native. She's coming right down the center of the net and finds the gaps in Michigan's defense. It's 20-14. That one's assisted by Zoe Nunez, the lead setter for the Spartans. She has 8 assists on the day. Johnson serve. Attack by Niambio finds Hardwood. It's now 21-14.
Beautiful attack by Serena. She's also had a great game. You know, was leading in kills just before May Petrosky had her kill, but she has had 5 kills this game, which is really exciting for her as she is a freshman and newcomer onto this team.
Earlier, we were talking about how great it was for the Wolverines freshmen to step up and show that this team is going to be in good hands after some of the older guard leaves. Point Michigan State on the failed block by Michigan.
I mean, yeah, looking to the future. I mean, this team does have a lot of juniors, but Maddie Dowd is a senior, and she will be gone, which will definitely be tough for the team. And losing May Petrosky is going to definitely have an effect on the attack for Michigan as she leads a lot of the games and kills.
Michigan with an attack and another point. They're just 3 points away from winning set 2. This was a Jackie Boney attack, assisted by Scotty Johnson. Wolverines closing in on an even more dominant second set, despite it starting off very even. The teams were tied at 10 at one point, and now Michigan's just been pulling away farther and farther. Kendall Murray keeps the play alive from her knees. Attack in front by Merzick. Defended well by Michigan State. Gets through the block, but another player was right behind the block, able to make it work. An attack by, I believe that was Robinson.
Yep.
Finds the hardwood. Michigan just 2 points away.
Robinson is so incredibly consistent on this team. I mean, rarely does she go for a kill and not get it. With her hitting percentage being over 500 for this game. You know, another senior that this team will sorely miss.
Hannah Grant, the server. She leads the team in terms of service aces per set. And at one point led the Big Ten. Plays the ball from her knees and blocked in front by Michigan State. Niambio fell down after her attack, so she wasn't in any position to keep the play alive when the ball came back to her. It's 23-16. Home team leads.
It's a little game of hot potato on the floor there for Michigan as the power from MSU literally floored them.
Attack by Niambio gets through the block. Michigan now set point. And
this is the second time that Niambio has gotten them to the set point. And she has been making some really clutch kills for this team. And the stadium gets on their feet. The cheerleaders are shaking their pom-poms. Everybody's clapping.
Maddie Dowd to serve for the Wolverines from the near side. Stays down the line. Dug by Michigan State. Set to the far side. Attack gets through the block and just past Hannah Grant, who's diving to the floor to keep the play alive. It is now 17-24. Set point number 2. That was a kill by Meredith O'Gorman. And now to serve for the team in green, Avery Horezi. From the far side, a couple paces away from the sideline. Float serve down the far sideline. Set by Dow to the near side. Attack cross court by Pertovsky, defended well by Michigan State. Set by Dowd, back to the same side, and gets off the block and out of bounds. Michigan wins set number 2 by the same score they won set number 1 by.
Wow.
25-17. The teams will retreat to the locker room for a quick meeting. Wolverines have been rolling today.
Absolutely. I mean, their offense has just been really clean that second set after a little bit of a shaky start there, but very few errors that set overall. And, you know, May Pertovsky had some really important kills, and so did Serena. And Hannah Grant, as always, you know, making saves and digs left and right as she continues to throw herself all over the court. Can't imagine the bruises she accumulates after a game like today, but it's been really fun to watch that team mesh super well there. And it's that kind of energy that they should bring to every set with them for the rest of the season. Because when they find that sweet spot, they are really, really fun to watch.
Michigan has the talent and the skill to beat almost any team out there.
Yeah.
The problem is when they self-sabotage with unforced errors.
Yes.
And
I
as
mean,
go ahead.
yeah, I mean, because Ches Robinson, she's leading the Big Ten with some of her stats. I mean, she is a star on the team, and she's not the only star. I mean, Jackie Boney's a star, May Pertovsky's a star. There's a lot of star power on this team, but like you said, it's those self-sabotage moments that, you know, forces some of those sets to get away from them, which is never a fun way to go.
While we have about 3.5 minutes between now and set number 3, let's take a quick look to the gridiron and see some of the football scores. Falcons are beating the Panthers 14-13.
Mm-hmm.
Cowboys are beating the Bears 28-17. Lions, the 1-5 Lions are beating the 4-3 Dolphins 27-24.
Okay, Lions.
Halfway through the third, and they have the ball. Cardinals trailing the Vikings 10-14. The Raiders, 5/8 of the way through this game, they are being shut out by the New Orleans Saints, the 2-5 New Orleans Saints,
wow.
24-0. Granted, the Raiders not much better with their record, 2-4. Patriots beating the Jets.
No, not the Jets.
And the Steelers are losing to the Eagles. The Eagles, the only undefeated team left in the NFL. And now looking ahead at some of the afternoon games, you have Texans, Titans, Commanders, Colts, Niners, Rams, and the only game this week between two winning teams, the Giants and the Seahawks.
What's the Giants' record?
The Giants are 6-1.
Wow.
The Seahawks 4-3. As the only game this year, the NFL has been wild. So many mediocre teams.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, football's never been my most favorite sport to play, but it's definitely been an interesting season from what I've been reading and what I've been hearing. A lot of not a lot of really star teams too much this season. And, I'm also loving the Tom Brady drama. I'm a big fan of that. But, yeah.
I mean, the NFC East has, in 2 years, gone from the worst team in football to the best team in football. 2 years ago, the 2020 season, the NFC East had 0 winning teams. This year, they have the most wins out of any division.
Wow.
With 3 teams being 5 or 6 wins. The Eagles 6-0, the Giants 6-1, the Cowboys 5-2, and also the domination from New York State. New York Giants 6-1. No one expected that. Brian Daboll has taken them far. The Jets built off of their success last year. They're now 5-2.
Wow.
They have a possible rookie of the year with Sauce Gardner, and also the Buffalo Bills. They're 5-1. I mean, behind Josh Allen, what can't they do? They were my pick to win the Super Bowl this year.
Really? That's very cool. Yeah, I mean, that's what I like about football as opposed to some of the other sports is that the budget is a little more fair for every team and every division, which allows a lot of opportunities for teams to rise and fall and, divisions to change, as opposed to, we were talking about baseball before, with the Yankees and their budget and, some of those richer teams and, other sports can dominate for way too long, but football is a little bit more of a chance for every team.
Therein lies the difference between a salary cap and a luxury tax. Because if you're willing to spend that much money, hello, Steve Cohen, thank you. If you're willing to spend that much money, you can have teams like the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, where they can outspend their opponents and maybe not win championships that way. Dodgers being the only team out of the 3 we just mentioned to actually have won a World Series in the past decade. But,
fortunately.
I mean, the Yankees were looking good this year and then got swept by the Astros, who have now tied up the World Series. Now Aaron Judge and that contract negotiation looms large over the fans from the Bronx.
Yeah, it definitely is looming over me every day. I mean, it would be really tragic to lose Aaron Judge, someone who's done so much for the city, so much for the team. I think it was a little unfair what happened to him towards the end of the season. All that pressure to hit 62, I think, threw off his hitting game a little bit, threw off some of his confidence. It's not really an excuse because a player of, that standard should be able to perform in clutch situations, but there was definitely a lot of pressure on him for a couple weeks to get that record, and unfortunately, I think some of that trailed into the postseason with him. Even though he did achieve it and he did break the record. No steroids necessary. He, I think, was a little little in his head in the postseason, as his batting average was just not what we would have expected as fans. But, you made a joke before that if, Judge could go to the Mets, and if that happens, I think we boycott
I was being
baseball.
intentionally antagonistic.
Yeah.
I do not believe that's going to happen. I believe that the Yankees are going to retain Judge.
Yeah, I hope not, because I would think I'd have to move out of the state. Like, I don't think I could handle seeing Judge walk around in a Mets jersey. I think that would kind of just break my heart a little too much.
It's fine. DeGrom's going to the Dodgers anyways. We're back for set number 3 here between Michigan and Michigan State. Wolverines to serve first. That's Jess Merzick, and a block by Allison Jacobs put the Wolverines up early 1-0.
A lot of great energy from the team right now. Looks like they're always having fun with each other on the court, which is super fun to watch. Bonding in this sport is definitely an important part, as it is super team-centered.
I mean, this team only lost one major player between last year and this, so this team has so much chemistry that they've built up over the years. And Maddie Dowd rushing to make the set. She ended up bumping into Jess Robinson, not being able to get to the ball in time. Jess Robinson said, "That's my bad." It's now 1-1 here in set 3. Wolverines have a 2-0 set lead this match. They're closing in on a perhaps second straight set win over Michigan State this season.
Be a great way to end this rivalry weekend for the University of Michigan.
Set by Dow to the far side. Attack by Jacobs. That goes out of bounds. She just got a little bit too far to the right of the ball, and you saw her as she went with the attack. She had to twist her body to truly get all her power on the ball, and as she twisted, sent the ball farther to the left than she would have liked.
It's hard to be a strong athlete. You got to control all that power. As the ball is in play, Maddie Dowd keeps it up. Allison Jacobs hits it over the net. As MSU keeps it alive, and then the kill attempt is out of bounds, and Michigan will get the point.
So now we're tied up at 2, and part of my silence, I was just looking around for trying to see the last time that Michigan State beat the Wolverines, and I'm all the way back in 2019, still haven't found it yet. Michigan serves. That was Robinson to the server.
Wow.
And a block by Michigan State falls softly in the middle of about 4 Michigan players who all kind of dove for it, but the ball landed on the hardwood first. It's 3-2, Michigan State in the lead.
Celine from MSU just got a lot of height on that ball, and was probably why no one was able to make that save for Michigan. MSU serves as the ball's in play. A bad touch by Michigan forces an error for Michigan State to win that point as they pull ahead in this set 4-2. Been a couple of errors already for Michigan early on in this set. Again, we were talking about how that's definitely this team's downfall, something that happens later on in games and sets in general. So hopefully they can pull that in right now so the set doesn't get away from them.
Jacobs receives the serve. Dowd sets behind her back, and a fantastic kill by Perkofsky.
That was a powerful kill as she got really high in the air and probably put all of her weight behind that ball. I can't really see anyone on MSU being able to save that kill.
It was cross court. It was shallow. It was fast and powerful. It was a fantastic kill. And I have my answer. Last time the Spartans beat the Wolverines was 2017.
Oh, wow.
And the last time it happened in Ann Arbor was 2013.
I mean, that's not funny. That's
Scotty Johnson to serve for the Wolverines from the far side. Float serve down the left-hand side. Cross court. Attack blocked in front by Nyambio. And the reception of the block goes out of bounds, hits off the post that keeps the net up. It's now 4-4 Michigan. Michigan State tied up in set number 3 as Michigan gets 2 in a row and claws back. Johnson hoping to put Michigan on another run. Attack by Michigan State on the near side, blocked by Jacobs. Johnson slides in, bumps the ball alive. No one from Michigan was on the far side, so good work by her getting there. And the attack by Michigan State just softly gets past the block.
That was a beautiful dig for MSU by... What happened?
Under the net. The ball went under the net, so it's point Michigan.
Point Michigan. Nalani continuing to prove for MSU that she is very much a foundation for this team as she rolled over to try and keep that ball alive.
And there she is with receiving the serve as well. Michigan State taps the ball up and over the block by Boney and Jacobs. Strong attack by Merzick goes far out. And it's 5-5.
Again, one of Merzick's kills just not getting right, not getting the power down enough, and it just falls out of bounds. A tough way to lose a point, as she is a really, really strong attacker for Michigan.
She's hitting at just 182 today. 3 out of her 11 kills being successful. Michigan State now pulls ahead after an attack falls in the center of the court. Michigan being caught out of position. Just like set 2, it's very close, back and forth early.
I wonder if some of the reason that Michigan State has been falling behind later in the set is they're depending a little too much on a couple of players, and they're probably getting fatigued towards the end. But we'll see how this set goes, as they have some stamina and power right now as they lead 7-5.
Fantastic kill by Rebecca Polion. Her 8th of the day. She has 0 errors.
Wow.
She's the only player who has attacked for the Spartans and has 0 errors. Attack by Boney. And now she'll try to block. The ball goes through the block. Michigan State with their largest lead of the day. They lead 8-5.
A little bit of not really an error, but you know, Serena and Jackie couldn't keep their wall up at the net there when they usually can. So definitely a tough point.
Jacobs dives to her knees to receive the serve. Attack by Boney.
Yep.
Finds a spot to go just outside of the block from Michigan State. That's Zoe Nunez and Aaliyah Moore trying to block the ball, and the ball will drop inside the server's line towards the center. So it's 8-6. Wolverines looking to claw back here. Kendall Murray, the server, who will try to captain that comeback. Attack dug by Grant. Johnson sets to the near side. Attack by Merzick goes off the block in front by Michigan State and out of bounds. Good job by Merzick getting a lot of elevation on the ball. And when she gets that attack so high, it has no choice but to go off the fingertips of the blockers, because she's getting just much higher than Michigan State can block. Michigan State only has 4 blocks this entire game.
That's a crazy number. Quite low.
And an attack error by Aaliyah Moore. She tried to tip the ball over the block. She didn't get enough power on it, so the tip ends up falling back on the Spartan side of the net. And Michigan ties the game up 8-8. Murray serves. Drops low. Spartans keep it alive, and a strong block by Nyambio and Boney. Michigan takes back the lead 9-8, and they're on a 4-0 scoring run. Timeout called by the Spartans.
Yep, I could have called that coming. That was a beautiful block by the two of them. It was basically just like a pinball machine. It came right to them. It came right back down. Quick and speedy and clean. Those clean blocks are really something that I think Michigan needs to work on, because, you know, a lot of times this match they haven't had clean ones. They've gone out of bounds. They've been bad touches. They've rolled off and gone through the wall. But when they get those clean and they get those powerful, it's an easy point for Michigan.
The fans here at Crisler Center are dressed up in costume. It's Halloween.
Halloween. Did you just come up with that?
No, that is a official.
Is that an official term?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to take credit for that. You know, maybe.
Maybe.
We got some Cat in the Hats, some kids dressed up as squirrels.
Maybe a clown. Police officer.
I'm not sure what that costume is, but she's got rainbow suspenders and a rainbow tutu, so
I'm gonna go clown.
very color clown works. She's got a bow tie. Yeah.
Someone maybe dressed as a groovy 70s. I've done that before. That's a fun costume. Bring back the 70s, style-wise, nothing else.
I don't think that's a costume on the Jumbotron right now, but it's hey, someone has cool bright pink hair.
That's awesome.
All right, we're getting back to the game now. Kendall Murray getting ready to serve. Michigan State taking a little bit of extra time on that timeout, being told by the ref, all right, the time's up, you got to get back on the court. The Adams family playing on the Crisler Center speakers. Nothing quite like the spooky time of the year. I think Halloween ranks up there with one of the best holidays. It's really Halloween and Christmas are the two top ones for me.
I would agree with that statement.
I say as someone who is not Christian at all. Attack by Niambio.
Oh, wow.
That will get in bounds. Looked like it was sailing out. Had so much speed on it as she goes cross court from the far side to the near side. Again, Michigan on radio right. Spartans on radio left.
Always rooting for Serena. Love to see her get a powerful kill in like that.
Kendall Murray serves down the center. She's got this team on a 5-0 scoring run. Grant bumps set by Johnson, and the attack by Boney is soft, and a perfectly placed attack by Michigan State. It wasn't a spike, or really it wasn't an attack. It was just sending the ball back over, but it was a perfectly placed bump just out of reach of two players for the maize and blue, and it's now 10-9, Michigan in control.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I mean, it wasn't even really an attack from MSU. They were just on the defense, keeping it alive, and it caught Michigan a little bit off guard.
Nailani Iozia to serve for the Spartans. Michigan defends well, sends it back on the Spartans side. An attack from the MSU's far side goes out of bounds just past the baseline. Robinson tags in for Boney. Boney goes talk with the Rosens. They have no notes for her, so she'll just go back to the bench. 11-9, Michigan lead. And Hannah Grant, number 9, will serve for the Wolverines. And the attack by Michigan State, again, just too far. Another unforced error. That's their 18th of the day. Wow. As a team, they are hitting at a measly 114, I believe, is going to be the number. 103 is the number.
Wow.
As a team. Michigan hitting at a 304. And another attack error for Michigan State. They are losing themselves this game.
Yeah.
And another timeout called by the Spartans.
I would imagine, there's definitely a little bit of a stamina issue with MSU, as only 4 of their players have any recorded kills this match. So, a lot of the work is being done heavy by a few players. They're probably tired, a little fatigued, been fighting a lot. And, Nalani has also been basically their main defense with 11 digs, like the closest person behind at 5. So, a little bit too much pressure on a few players on MSU might be some of the reasons why they start to trail behind and get a little bit of that fatigue during
and 100%, whereas Michigan has, the ability to rotate 2 full front lines out there.
Yeah.
There's the, the A line of Pertovsky, Robinson, and Boney, and then the B line of Merzik, Niambio, and Jacobs.
Barely even a B line,
I mean, a 1A and a 1, a 1A and a 1B,
Yeah.
Michigan State has to rotate through those 4 players. You've got players like Rebecca Polyan and Meredith O'Gorman who have been on almost every point played.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan, that's definitely another one of Michigan's strengths is that deep bench. Energy and fatigue really shouldn't be that much of a problem for Michigan compared to other teams. But I think it's maybe less of a physical fatigue and maybe a mental fatigue sometimes for them, as, they get a little sloppy every now and then. But so far, they've been great this set, leading 13-9, as Michigan State has been the one making several errors.
Attack by Grant. Wolverines on a 3-0 scoring run. And an attack from Michigan State. Tries to softly get it past the block, but it ends up striking the net. That's 4 straight attacking errors by Michigan State. 3 straight by Aaliyah Moore, and then 1 by Selena Aslian. Attack by Niambio. Defended well by State. And Merzik's attack, that hits the hardwood.
Nice.
So finally, Michigan with a successful kill. They haven't done that since it was 8-10. Thanks to the multitude of errors by the Spartans. Michigan leads 15-9, closing in on another straight set win. Hannah Grant serves cross court, and a beautiful dig by Grant.
Wow.
That was one of the best kills we've seen the Spartans make all day. Wolverines can't keep the play alive, though, on the second attack, so it's all for naught as it's 15-10. But fantastic work by Hannah Grant to get just to her side. I mean, it could have been placed a little better by Michigan State, but it was powerful.
Very powerful. Hannah Grant has no fear when it comes to taking kills from from opponents.
Spartans to serve. That's Zoe Nunez cross court. Spartans attack from the center. It's a tip from service line to the other service line. Attack by Merzik. Finds Ziozia. She digs well. Grant sets. Attack by Robinson. Tipped off the block in front. And over to the scorer's table. And that was the third touch. So Michigan leads 16-10.
Yep, that's our consistent Robinson. You know, she is usually very successful in her kills and obviously had MSU off their feet with that kill as they kind of scrambled to keep it alive.
Dowd to serve for the Wolverines. No service aces on the day, nor service errors for her. Strong attack by Michigan State. And a heavy-handed block from Merzik. Wolverines in control, but attack on the first touch by Michigan State can't be dug by the Wolverines. They claw back to within 5. It's 16-11.
I mean, Michigan State still seems to have a lot of energy, a lot of, you know, team spirit on their side of the court. Hopefully that could work for them a little bit right now.
Serving is Avery Horsey. For the Spartans, Dowd sets to the near side, and attack by Robinson blocked in front. It's now 12-16, and that was a slower attack from Robinson, perhaps trying to get it to go off the block and fall on the Spartans' side.
Yeah, definitely not one of her most powerful attacks.
And now Horsey again. Attack by Robinson off the block. Horsey's back there in the back line. Nunez sets the ball forward. Michigan tries to get a block. State defends well. Wolverines attack from the far side. No such luck.
Oof.
And a tip over the block for the Spartans. They're down to within 3 now. It's 16-13.
It's interesting today. A lot of those kind of lobs over from MSU have fallen to the floor on Michigan's side of the court. You know, which is interesting because there's been a lot of digs for some of those more powerful kills, but I think the formation gets a little thrown off with those softer attacks.
The Wolverines certainly a block-heavy team, and they commit to that very strongly, and their back line doesn't always get up in front enough to be able to be that secondary line of defense. Michigan wins a point back as the attack goes off the right side of the block from Nunez. And now it's 17-13. That kill by Robinson, she notches her 6th of the day on 11 attempts. Merzik serves from the near side, cross court, dug by Aslian.
Oof.
And another tip. Not a lot of heat on it, but it finds open space on the Michigan court. Wolverines out of position a lot this middle stretch of the third set rather. It's 17-14. Michigan up by 2 sets. Neil Oker to serve. One of the 2 Turkish players, and a kill by Robinson makes it 18-14 straight down the center.
Beautiful kill by Robinson. She was up in the air and quick to come back down on it, and it found the floor. Not much for MSU to do there.
And serving specialist Brooke Humphrey gets into the game. Her first time today. Michigan 7 points away from winning the match. She has a standing serve and a block in front by Jackie Boney. Her 5th block of the day. Wolverines up 19-14 now.
Jackie Boney has had has had 5 blocks today. She's been really great in front of the net, especially when Serena's by her side. Not one of her more attack-heavy days, but she's definitely made some important blocks in front of the net.
Brooke Humphrey with a service ace, and this is why she's the serving specialist. She's able to place her serves so perfectly, and whereas a lot of players, they'll do a running serve or a float serve where it gets them the power, Brooke Humphrey, pinpoint accuracy.
She just stands right there and boom.
Targets the far side again. Attack by the Spartans. Dug by Merzick, but out of reach for Maddie Dowd as the ball sails towards the scores table. Michigan leads by 5, and Brooke Humphrey does her job, getting the Wolverines an even wider gap, winning 2 points in a row for the Wolverines. And now it's 20-15.
Yep, she was definitely an important part to making sure that this set stays in Michigan's favor right now as we near the end of it.
Jalen Swain with a serve. Wolverines attack, and that's who else but Iozia there to make
I think that was a double touch by Michigan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a little bit of a scramble in front of the net there as the ball was not in the best spot for a block or an attack or a set.
Again, Swain to serve. She's got a service ace today and a service error. That is her first service error, the 5th for the Spartans this match.
Scotty Johnson coming in to serve, as she is one of the stronger servers for Michigan, and Serena also to come in that little sub change for Michigan.
Wolverines have a front line of Murray, Dowd, and Niambio, as well as Merzick is in there. So they're giving their real big offensive stars some rest. Beautiful over-the-head tap-in by Selena Aslian. And Michigan wins the point there with the Wolverines catching the Spartans off guard, first touch attack.
That was definitely thanks to a beautiful dig again from Hannah Grant, diving on the floor to keep that ball in play.
Looks like it bounced off the top of the net, and there's a referee review. Not entirely sure what for, perhaps in or out on that attack. Bench is doing some jogs to stay warm. And interestingly enough, Mira Chopra is subbed in here as well. She's getting her first little bit of game action.
Who?
Mira Chopra.
Oh.
She, I believe, is number 8. Yep. Sophomore from Champaign, Illinois. Doesn't get a lot of game action. In fact, this season she's shown up in just 9 sets across 5 matches, make that 10-6 now as Hot Take Taylor Swift's best song plays on the speaker here at Crisler Center.
You Belong With Me?
Best song.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
That or Romeo and Juliet.
Well, yeah, I mean, those two are probably the most influential songs when I was younger. I've seen both music videos maybe 100 times a piece.
One of my greatest shames in modern music is not knowing that either of these songs were Taylor Swift until 2019? 2018?
God, who'd you think they were?
I didn't know. I don't know.
You just thought they were bops?
Yeah, they're just, yeah. I mean, they sound vaguely Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, okay, fair. I mean, it was such a big cultural moment for me when I realized in the You Belong With Me music video, Taylor Swift played both herself and the girl she was jealous of.
I think the lead singer of Hailstorm in Misery Business also did that.
What?
The song Misery Business by Hailstorm.
Yeah.
I believe the lead singer, Lucy Hale, not Lucy Hale, that is not
not Lucy
That is not Lucy Hale. I guess I have Pretty Little Liars on my mind.
Is that one of your shows?
Lizzie Hale is the lead singer. She played both the girl she was jealous of and the
classic
protagonist. And yes, Pretty Little Liars is one of my shows right now.
Back in play.
Wolverines with an attack dug by Michigan State. Hannah Grant receives Michigan State's bump. Attack by Kendall Murray just out of bounds. Michigan State gets their 18th point of the set, and that is the most that they have on any set so far today. And looking back against Michigan in their prior... in their prior games, it was much closer. Although it was still straight sets on October 14th in East Lansing, they lost the first set 25-17, which was the score of the first and second sets here. They lost the second set 30-28, and they lost the third set 25-22. And another referee review here.
Yep. As every point is really important here for MSU. I'm not surprised that they're challenging things that they might be able to pull away with a changed call. I mean, they still seem like, you know, they're in it. They're staying warm. They're staying ready, staying on their toes. Definitely a good tactic to make sure that Michigan doesn't feel a little cocky right now. You know, because it's not over till it's over. Still need 4 points to win this set and match for Michigan, as it is 21-18.
Both teams celebrated at the conclusion of that set, that point rather. So the referee just going and checking whether that attack was in or out. The attack from the attack error by Kendall Murray is what it was originally called. And the referee's review is over, talking to the scorer. And it is a point for Michigan State. It is confirmed to have been out of bounds by Kendall Murray. And these reviews are really breaking up Michigan's momentum. Yeah. So it's helpful for Michigan State. They're out of timeouts. They used both of them very early on in this set before clawing back into it. And
they're definitely smart timeouts. Probably settled the team a little bit.
Aslian, one of the two Turkish natives, to serve for the Spartans. She goes cross court. Attack by Niambio, blocked in front, and attack by Murray as well, again blocked. And now the Spartans are within 2 points. It's 21-19. Subbing in is Allison Jacobs, coming out as Kendall Murray. Wolverines slowly rotating in their top producers for the day.
Yeah, I mean, this set kind of just closed up really quick, almost in the blink of an eye.
Allison Jacobs set, and it's a fourth touch by Michigan as the attack touched the net, not the block by Michigan State. So when it came back down, it was the fourth touch. And now, excuse me, it's a 1 point game, 20-21. Timeout called by Mark Rosen. First time Michigan has called the timeout all game.
How the tables have turned.
So if you're Mark Rosen, what are you saying?
Girls, 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 settle. It's okay. I think that they're getting a little sloppy and they're starting to get a little cocky at the end there. So I don't think they were being as forward and attack heavy as they could have been. And I think MSU saw that lull and has taken advantage of it. So hopefully after this timeout, they come out with, you know, big energy, big moves, big plays. And there's no time or room for any errors right now. So it's got to be a clean game from here on out.
Short timeout taken by Michigan. They're breaking up the huddle with 20 seconds left to go. Michigan State actually taking more time in their little meeting than the Wolverines were. Head coach of the Spartans, I guess there it is. Head coach Leah Johnson. She has been the head coach for the Spartans. I believe this is her first year as she was coach for Illinois State the 5 years prior. And Wolverines win a point off the back of Allison Jacobs as she tips the ball up and over. And Leah Johnson got Illinois State to 4 straight NCAA tournaments.
Wow.
The first time they've done that, the Redbirds have done that since 82 to 85. So she certainly
made a difference
experienced
there.
In winning.
Yeah.
And is hoping to right the ship for this MSU program, which has found itself towards the bottom of the Big Ten for the better part of a decade.
Yeah.
And the attack.
Going to be a long-term strategic plan for MSU.
As soon as a new coach comes in, you got to start with the recruiting. You got to get, You need 4 years to get your team to be really set up.
Exactly.
You're not working with the previous regime anymore.
22-21 here in the third set.
Pardon me. Iosia, the libero, serving for Michigan State. Attack by Merzik, and that's off of the dig by number 4, Celine Aslian, and out of bounds. Michigan just 2 points away from winning 6 sets this season out of 6 against their cross-state rivals.
Seems to be a pause on the court. Oh, need for the towel boy. He's always there, ready to go.
Wolverines, Hannah Grant from the near side. Cross-court floater. Attack from the near side.
Ooh.
Grant dives, keep play alive. Johnson with an athletic bump, having to jump to keep herself in the play. And the attack by number 13 in green, Aaliyah Moore, falls in front of the block for the Wolverines. 22-23.
A powerful attack as it made both Robinson and Serena a little wobbly on Michigan's side. MSU to serve. Ooh.
And a service ace for the Spartans ties the game up at 23.
See, that's one of those moments of miscommunication and unnecessary errors for Michigan that has, put them in a really scary position here in this third set. What was their lead what was their highest lead in this set? I think it was
the Wolverines.
Yeah.
That is a great question, and the answer appears to be 15-9.
Wow.
Also, at one point it was 19-14. 21-16 as well.
Wow.
So it's really closed up quickly here. Spartans winning 7 of the last 9.
Yeah, they've definitely, to their credit, have not given up on themselves and not given up on their teammates. Even though they weren't in the most encouraging position, they've kept playing and they have found some of the lulls in Michigan's game and have been taking advantage. And, that last point right there, 2 teammates diving for the same ball is an error that doesn't need to happen. It's a moment of miscommunication, and hopefully Michigan doesn't make any more of these if they want to finish this game right here.
We've now entered win by 2 territory. So either team has to have a lead of 2 points over their opponents to put this set away. Either team able to win 2 in a row here, or if you give up a point, you're going to need to win 3 straight. So quite a tall task.
I would say this next point is probably the most important point we have seen so far today. So
without a doubt.
And the ball is in MSU's hands.
That's Nunez to serve. From the far side. Clips off the top of the net. Onto her knees to keep it alive is Nyambio. Attack by Merzik off the block and out of bounds. Point Michigan. It's 24-23, and it is set point. They have not won a first set point this game. Both times they've gotten it, it's been MSU ball, and then followed by a point for Michigan. But now with the win by 2, they can't follow that pattern. To serve is Dowd. Cross court. Bumped up to the near side. Nunez attack, and just in bounds. 24-24, so we're going to get some free volleyball as we move on to at least 26 points for the winner of this set.
That was a beautiful attack by MSU.
That was Aaliyah Moore, her 8th kill of the day on 25 attempts, 6 errors, so she's hot and cold, but when she
hits, she hits.
Exactly. Avery Horsey attacks with a serve, trying to get a service ace, and it just goes out of bounds. And again, set point for Michigan. And to serve is Jess Merzik.
Jess Merzik definitely needs to contain her power right now. She can't have one of those balls. She can't have this ball go out of bounds right now.
She's had 1 service ace on the day. Light serve, cross court.
Smart.
The serve was not received well. Goes back over the net towards Michigan's side. Attack by Pertovsky. Tip by MSU off the block. Kendall Murray attacks. Again with Iosia digging. Ball goes off the block for Michigan, and it's misplayed on the bump, and that's the game. The University of Michigan wins set number 3 in a nail-biter, 26-24, and they win this game in straight sets. The Wolverines are your victors valiant tonight.
Wow. They really had us there for a second at the end, but Michigan has come through at this really exciting game with a full crowd, a big rivalry after a great weekend, and this is an awesome way to finish up this rivalry weekend here at U of M.
That now marks 3 consecutive straight set wins for the Wolverines against the Spartans, and 11 consecutive sets in a row won by the Maize and Blue.
Wow. This is exciting. Hopefully this is, giving some of those players on the team who haven't got as much playing time but got that playing time today some confidence for future games against those top-ranked teams. Michigan really showed that they have a deep bench today for sure, and there is a lot of star power to go around on the Michigan team. But to MSU's credit, they definitely came in here an underdog coming off of a exactly similar loss a couple weeks ago, but they really stuck it out to the end and almost took that final set there, and definitely something to be proud of for them, for sure.
Next time the Wolverines are home, WCBN will be covering that game. It is the 6th of November against Purdue. I believe that is Jake Singer and I on the broadcast. And we have every home game all the way up until the last one of the game here on WCBN. KG, I think you're on the last 2?
Yes, I think I am on the last 2. If you want to keep an eye out for me, guys, our steady 3 listeners, 2 now, but that's okay. Game's over. No problem. But yeah, I'm excited to be back. It's been super fun calling this season. This is a great team to watch. And if you're listening, you should definitely, and you live in Michigan, you should definitely try to get out to the, I think it's, Keene now?
Yep, all the rest of the games are going to be at Cliff Keen Arena.
Cliff Keen Arena.
Unair-conditioned
Tough.
place.
Tough. But yeah, if you're in Michigan, you should definitely come out and support the volleyball team. They're super fun to watch. They have great energy, great players, and, after this game, this season might do a bit of a turnaround for them, which would be super exciting.
Wolverines making a statement here after dropping out of the rankings, trying to get back in there. Again, there's no postseason tournament, there's no auto bids, so it's really just the top 32 teams in the NCAA, the ones that make the tournaments, so...
Yep, and Michigan's really towing that line right now, so every game counts, and today was a big win for them, so that's super exciting, and hopefully they can carry this energy to the next game.
All right, well, that'll do it for us here at WCBN. For KG Foley, my name is Joshua Tenzer. Good night, and as always, go Blue.